Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I am talking about far too focused on the past. Now, we know individuals who will reflect, who will simply think about some things that took place in the past, others who will just have those fond memories of the family and the traditions. We have those who will look back upon the past in order to come up with a plan for the future. And then we have some people who are simply too troubled, too disturbed, that they will focus so much on the past that they miss the present as well as the future. You see, sometimes there are those individuals who they're so caught up in those past memories of the childhood events, the things that they did in the last marriage, the things that they did back when they were friends with so-and-so, that they miss out on all of the potential to have those new memories, those good memories. They miss out on connecting with their current family because they're still grieving their past family. They miss out on what God, we're going to go there spiritually. They miss out on what God has for their future because they're too busy looking back. Now, in another audio, I talked about how there was the wife who turned into a pillar of salt, leaving Sodom and Gomorrah because she looked back. And so sometimes you see this looking back can cause so many problems for people because they're not mentally, spiritually, physically strong enough to be able to get up out of their past thinking, past ways of doing things, past whatever it might be, in order to go and do the things that God has called them to do in the present and in the future. Am I talking to someone? Does someone know somebody like this? Okay, you are trying to make the new memories. You are trying to get the family involved with something that is bigger and better than the old. You're trying to broaden someone's horizons a bit, and all they can do is keep talking about the past. Those people, my friend, are deceased, right? Those people are the ones who caused a lot of the problems. Those people are the ones that can't do too much of anything for you in the present or in the future, but yet somebody keeps talking about what we used to do, how mama used to do this, that, and the other, how I used to love so-and-so's cooking, and now I just don't have the fight anymore. I just don't want to be a part of this and that, and I just want folks to just be the way it used to be and do what they used to do. Come on, stop with this. Stop with this. How can God get you to where you need to be in life if all you can do is just keep talking about what we used to do, where we used to go, who we used to know? See, sometimes, Lord Jesus, some of these so-called friends, they can really bring you down. God will show you some of the little tactics and maneuvers and the strange things that they say and do, and even just those little what we used to do types of statements to show you how they're keeping you in bondage. You can only look at the past, but for so long before you end up getting caught up in the snare of the enemy who wants to keep you back there because he doesn't want you to enjoy what is currently going on in your life. There's some men who are missing out on their relationships with their current wives because they're still grieving their past wives. Come on. There's some men who are missing out on raising and parenting and loving on their children because they're too busy grieving how they were treated by their mothers and fathers. Lord Jesus. There's some men who's missing out, and I'm zeroing in on men. I'll get to the women. I know how YouTube is about this sort of thing. But there's some men that are still angered by all that happened to them with their past job that they can't enjoy their current jobs. We got some women who their relationships with their current partners aren't doing so well because they're still crying and wishing and hoping that that other one would one day be with them. There's some who are being falsely accused of just going through the motions of the past when that's not really what's going on, because she done already moved on. But you know what's happening? There's those people around her that keep reminding her of the past. You see, she's fighting her way, but they keep reminding her. And so she's still going to the club, still drinking, still cussing, still fussing, because some folks just won't let go. She's trying, but not trying hard enough. Because if she's still drinking, cussing, and fussing, the past gonna keep her bound. We have some women who can't enjoy their current children because they're grieving the children that they lost. Jesus. They're saying, Mama, he's gone. Why can't you enjoy us? We're right here for you. Mama, she's not coming back. Can you just enjoy the grandchildren as well as your children that are still here? Can you? Oh, yes. Telling somebody's business. And it hurts. I understand that. But you got to go to the Lord and allow the Lord to create in you a new heart, a new direction, a new path, a new heart for him. You see, some people, they can't get ahead because they're still groveling over what happened last year, the year before, and the year before that. We can see it, but they can't. We will point it out to them, but they'll make excuses. We will come to them, put our arms around them and say, it's okay, it's all right, I forgive you, it's all good. And they will turn right back around and talk about the past and try to put us back in that box again in their conversation with others, bad mouthing, disrespecting, saying she ain't this and she ain't that, and she always was the problem. Still groveling over past grievances, past offenses. You won't see the blessings. I can guarantee you, you won't see the blessings ahead when you are so blinded by the past. You will not be able to enjoy your current wife or your current husband if you still tripping about that one who sent you the letter, sent you the picture, sent you the gift the other day. You won't be able to fully enjoy the children that you have if you still tripping on that one that left the house. If you still tripping on that one that died. You will not. I'm telling somebody this because it resonates in my spirit as the Lord gives it to me. Some folks is paranoid because they were told that this was going to happen to them, that was going to happen to them, and all sorts of ungodly types of things because that individual or group was offended by you. And so you still caught up in that past, and that past has now affected you emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You can't seem to get a break. You can't seem to be at peace. You looking over your shoulder way too many times because of the simple fact that somebody put something upon you from the past. Can we let go of the past? Some of you all, you got a little bit of that when you watch the movie. I wasn't going to mention this, but now I'm feeling led to do that. When you watch the movie Star Wars: The Last Jedi, there was a line, there was a moment in that movie where, yes, darkness meets light, but darkness had to remind light that we could let go of the past. Yeah, it was for all the wrong reasons, but at the same time, though, think about it. Sometimes you see, for some people, there's freedom in letting go. Some folks, they're still in the past right now because they're going through a healing process. Some folks want you to return to the past because they can see your future. Your future looks bright and they don't want to be outshined. So I got to remind you of those good old days. But those good old days was where we was lying, we was stealing, we was tripping, we was doing all things that was ungodly and unrighteous. Why are you coming into my life reminding me of my past when God got me destined toward my future, which my future is much greater, it's much brighter, it's much lighter than it ever was. Why you want to do this to me? I'm already set in motion to be free of certain people and things. I'm already set on a pathway where God is going to deliver me from the opposition who's been putting his and her foot on my neck. Yes, I've been on that resistance movement. Come on now, somebody. Oh, Jesus. I've been on that resistant movement for a long time, going on 10 years, talking to people about resisting the enemy. Oh, this is very much real in my life. We've been on that last Jedi mission for a long time, recruiting more Jedis to fight up against the opposition who wants to kill, steal, and destroy us, because we walk according to the will of the Lord. We walk in the light. Those of us, we've always had something within us that was calling us, that was moving us to bigger and better. And that something within us was what we chose to accept. That was the Holy Spirit that was left behind by the one true God. Oh, yes, we've been on that Jedi mission. Oh, Jesus. We've been fighting all sorts of wars, the fleshly wars, right? Those wars that you can see. Those natural wars. We've been fighting up against some spiritual wars, the things that you can't see. But some of us can see because we gifted to see, and it's very dark, ugly, and disturbing types of images. We've been on a mission and missions. And some of you all, you can't see because you don't want to see. Others, you see, and that's why you join in the resistance movement. Jesus. We don't do things like what some of them believe us to do. Oh, they do it like this because they're Christian. Let's look at their handbook. Let's look at the Bible. God does a 180, a 360 on some folk. No, what you thought we were going to do, we do something totally different. Oh, the old ways of protest, the old ways of marches. We got something totally different. Some folks I was going to join, but then I looked at what their mission was. Their mission was elementary. Their mission was caught up in the past. Their mission was all about what they used to do. It worked way back when, but it don't work now. That traditional walking down the street, carrying a sign. No, we on something bigger and better. God is doing some things in the spiritual realm. Yeah, you make some noise. Yeah, you bring some awareness. But at the end of the day, who is financing the mission? Is it the same people who got their foot on your neck? Most of the time when we follow the money trail, it goes back to that hidden opposition. The one that's already oppressing the people. The one that, oh, I'm just being amused by all of the people that's carrying the signs. Oh, it looks nice. It reminds me of way back when. It's entertainment for them. God's people are not here to entertain. We're here to show you the light, to show you the truth, to show you what you need to do on that elementary level first before you can get to the more complex levels of life. First up, you got to be strong enough to get rid of the people that are around you that keep you in the past. And they keep you in the past in such a way that you're not progressing toward your future. If you can do that first, that's 101, then you can be able to get toward those other things in life that God is moving you toward, like the finances, right? You can't tackle the bigger and better things if you don't have the finances, the backing, the support system. Some of us, we already know that some of these national as well as international types of things that's going on, God has not moved us toward those, but our sisters and brothers are being moved, are coming up with all sorts of systems to be able to help others. Some of us, we just trying to get the minds together that are around us so that they can be prepared for what God has ahead. And if you can't fight these small battles, how you going to win the bigger battles? Some folks is too cowardly. They can't even get past their matriarchs and patriarchs that have their controlling vices that are upon them. I want to be able to be free in the spiritual realm, but if I keep talking to mama every day and I keep listening to what she got to say, who's the demigod in my life? God said that we're not supposed to have these demigods in our lives. It's okay to have those who advise us every now and again. It's okay to reach out to some counselors every now and again, but they're not supposed to be on that daily mission in our life. That is reserved for the one true God to minister to us, to give us all that we need in order to accomplish great things. There's some things that only God knows that mamas and daddies and uncles and aunts and wives and husbands and sisters and brothers and best friends cannot help us with. That's why you got to shut some folks down for a time. People talk about fasting from food, but I'm telling you right now that some folks is called to be on that 21-day fast of not talking to certain people. Can you even last 21 days without talking to certain people? Others are called, yes, toward those fasts where, no, we're not eating meat for 21 days. Your body needs to detox in mind, body, and spirit. The vegans, they can attest to that. Some others are on that 21-day fast that they're called to not be drinking sugary drinks, because that sugar ain't nothing but a high for you. Some others, they're called on a 21-day fast in the spiritual realm, right? This is all spiritual. They're called on this 21-day fast where they're going to be zeroed in on what it is that God has called them to do for 21 days. It's a project, and that project is all you're going to be doing. You cannot be dividing your time up to be dealing with everybody else. They're going to have to be pushed off, put aside. Sorry, can't work on your project right now. 21 days focus on somebody else's project before we zero in on somebody on whatever else somebody has for us. And then we have people who are 21 days dedicated on an absolute fast. That means no eating, no drinking. That's it. And some people are saying you're crazy. God wouldn't do that. Yes, he does. I went on an absolute fast towards the end of my 40-day liquid fast. I'm telling you that when you get up on those levels of spirituality, you see things, you hear things, you can touch people, and people are delivered and healed like never before. You on that Jesus ministry, show enough. Okay. So these things are real. This is what is happening when you are being called away from the past way of doing things. When you are being called away from those past people, places, and things, you know that God is doing a great and mighty thing in your life. You might as well receive it. We're not worshiping like we used to worship. We're not talking like we used to talk. We're not around the types of people that we used to be around. We're not sitting up there holding on to some past memories through photographs, through writings, and through whatever else, when God is calling us to something new. We are not keeping people around that God does not want us to keep around, because some people, God has been constantly knocking on their hearts, knocking on their wallets, knocking on their doors, doing so many things to awaken them, and they refuse to be awakened. Some, they wake up a little bit, their eyes are rolling around, they hear what you say, but then they go right back into a deep sleep. And then when we try to knock on their hearts, their minds, their spirits again as God leads, these folks do not want to awaken fully. So God leads us away from them, and then he allows them to go into reprobate. It happens. I've seen it. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, their minds are reprobate. They cannot receive anything that God puts upon their hearts, including these audios. I'm telling you, it happens. Some folks don't want to believe it, but God does still curse. God does still wage war against enemies. God does still allow a man or woman's mind to go in some kind of place where they are crazed, confused, bewildered, whatever you want to call it, because they're a hindrance with all of their past thinking, with all of their past programming, with all of their past dysfunction. They're a hindrance. And so we resist the devil and he will flee, as well as all of the devil's systems and programs and whatever else he has in store. We resist. And I thank the mighty God for being with us every step of the way. Blessings to you in the new year. My name, once again, is Nichole. Feel free to subscribe. If you want to reach out to me, I'm at NichollMcGuire@gmail.com. We also receive donations on this channel. And we thank those who simply just want to bless us. There's nothing church about it, right? We don't have a board that we report to. We don't have these itemized types of documents and so forth where we're always reporting what we do with this, that, and the other. We just say thank you for your blessings. So that is it. Be renewed in mind, body, and spirit. Check the description box for anything that might be of interest. To God be the glory.